I could offer you $1 million. Tell you I've done it for 100 people just like you, give you a full money back guarantee, time back guarantee, and maybe even a vacation. And oh, by the way, it's because you're the cousin of a prince. And if you've never heard of me before, you still wouldn't believe me. And it's not cynical, that's just how strangers work. And it changes everything about how you have to approach cold outreach. So, let's walk through how to make offers people trust and can't ignore. And by the way, later in this video, I'll show you how you could make a here's $1 million offer work. Get used to this chart because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. So how do we actually create an offer that is cold ready, and why do guarantees actually kind of suck? The reason guarantees break down is because a guarantee is mostly something that takes someone from interested to closed. And so guarantees can work via cold outreach, but they're not necessarily the most effective way to do it. One, they draw in the wrong customers, people that are, don't understand that skin in the game is a rule of life, and be sure to check out Nassim Taleb for more learning on that. But they're also just the customers you often don't want. Now, problem. Everyone you talk to, basically, other than certain inbound led outbound, is a stranger. Strangers aren't going to go and be like, wow, this guy that wants to give me $1 million, or as like the little cold outreach gurus tend to do, or tend to teach people, it seems, because I get these DMs all the time. If I could book you 100 calls with sales qualified individuals in the next 30 days, you pay nothing up front. And if I don't reach the goal, then I'll give you money back. It's a pitch. And going through the components, the problem with that is that that is only a dream outcome. 30 days is a time delay that is not believable. And the fact that he doesn't want me to do any effort or doesn't point out a reason why my business would be successful person to do this for makes me go, weird, like nothing in this world is free. I must have to do something to get this awesome outcome, so I don't believe him. Simple. So, guarantees suck. What's better? Well, if you haven't read it already, you should read Josh Braun's Ditch the Pitch, Poke the Bear. But to sum it up, when you speak to someone, you need to understand them as well as they understand themselves in cold outreach, so you come off as a friendly neighbor. And to come off as even better than a friendly neighbor, like a friend, you ditch the pitch and you opt for conversational messages like texting a friend. And that means you're not fishing for a close on your email, which is what these guarantees do. Instead, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create two things. You're trying to create interest, and you're trying to create trust. Curiosity and trust, interest and trust, you name it. If you have one without the other, you're screwed. If you have one without the other, you're screwed. So most of you, I'd imagine, already have a dream outcome. If you don't, back to the drawing board. It's not a hard thing to do. I'll help you get acquired, right? Like a few of my customers, I could, use one of my case studies and be like, yeah, build a reliable pipeline. You'll be a better acquisition opportunity, and you'll have a proper exit plan. Or not only will we do that, we'll help you find the right people to exit with. And so the point is, after sending 4 million cold emails, I have a really strong understanding of where these straight line guarantee driven offers start to break down, and why you have to start approaching this equation, which is a fantastic equation with more nuance. So ditch the pitch, focus on curiosity and trust. How do we make it happen? Your new holy truth. Pretend it's in the Bible, okay? Pretend it's a new commandment. It's the 49th law of power. The number one thing you need to focus on in cold outreach is this. And this isn't their perceived likelihood of achieving like the dream outcome necessarily. It's, do I believe your dream outcome is at all in the realms of possibility? Here's $1 million. Not possible. And by the way, at the end, we're really going to dig into how to make that $1 million offer work after we go through exactly what the fundamentals of this system is. All right? Capiche? So how do we create trust and perceived likelihood of achievement? The number one thing you have to do is show that you understand them as well as they understand themselves, or point out problems within how they work that they never considered. So how do we do that? There's two options. You can either opt for the Jordan Crawford route, which is the list is the message. By the way, trust, believe. Or you can opt for bending the list to your will. And so the list is the message would be like, we've got a data source that is like only PCB manufacturers. And as a result, we have this unique understanding of where things start to break down inside of these specific manufacturers, and we can speak to how they're really afraid to work with certain vendors because if any of their technology gets leaked, they lose a unique advantage. So that's like research driven, but you can do something better. Now, if you've heard me talk about this before, Alex Hormozi has something called a bet on you offer. And what that is an offer that requires your effort and sacrifice first in order to potentially obtain a guarantee, but the guarantee turns into the real offer. It's only an intro offer, which makes it more believable. It's a week of a thing to do a small outcome with your effort and sacrifice, which makes it believable because they're betting on their own abilities. Whereas we'll do everything for you reduces the perceived likelihood of achievement. And this has carryover. I call this the gambler's fallacy. A gambler gambles once. Money, 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 money. A gambler gambles twice. Holy shit. Money, 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 money. A gambler gambles again. Oh, no money. But what do? Keep fucking gambling, man. They're like, yeah. So how do we inform this gambler's fallacy into creating perceived likelihood of achievement trust? Your job is to find the things the business is actively investing in, the outcomes they are pursuing, the mechanisms they are using to get there, and take those or macro level conditions as well that create trust. You can bridge trust as well, and I'll demonstrate that in a sec. But importantly, find ways to be trustworthy. And that's to take your dream outcome and shove whatever they're investing in straight into it. And a great example of this, an example I freaking love, is just being like, look, you're doing a ton of blogs. You've invested in this, or you are doing tons of growth. Okay. You are driving website traffic specifically. Okay. Your landing page sucks, or your onboarding flow sucks. You can get an AI agent to like go through it and screenshot if you wanted to. Getting a little advanced here. We do service dream outcome to make it so all of the ads flowing into signups turn into bottom line revenue. And now they're like, holy shit, I'm investing in ads. I'm investing in creatives. I should invest in this. And you make it more believable because you're attaching it to another outcome they already believe in. And you can make it other offers more believable, for instance, by increasing their effort and sacrifice. For instance, as my agency, I do something called an offer clarity workshop where I ask a series of questions to basically do this, figure out how we can drive this up as much as possible and drive this up as much as possible with it and frame it in a palatable way. I could say I do that independently, but that would actually make my offer worse. By having this sit down moment where they have to give me what they know, bridge the gap between what is said on the internet, what is said in sales calls, and what is understood by a founder, that drives up perceived likelihood of achievement. Not only does it drive that up, it literally just drives up my likelihood of achievement because every founder has all the golden nugs in the world. Same with salespeople, golden nugs in the world on their industry, right? They just know it. So I mentioned another way that you can make this happen. So another way that you can increase perceived likelihood of achievement. You do not have to make them gamble. The other way, and the reason why, again, growing companies are great to target in general, is to go after outcomes and job descriptions, right? If someone is looking to build out, agentify, or if in their funding round on their blog, they mention agentification, you're not saying, I saw you're growing. I saw you have plans to install some agentic workflows. Show you know them. Or if it's built into your offer, don't show it, make it like go under the radar so you can have a unique message, right? But we can go into that another time. And be like, look, I saw you're looking to build out agentic workflows. Have you guys set up or figured out the infrastructure you're going to use to go from prototype to production? Most name drop the role that they're in, or most mid-markets, or most companies that aren't AI native, taking their first steps into AI, most manufacturers, whatever. You can start to think about like maybe using a case study, which case studies as well. Sales resistance way up, just like guarantees. So be careful how you use them. Most manufacturers that are taking their first steps into agentic workflows build something nice that works once, but doesn't scale to production. We make that happen in minutes. Do you have any MVPs right now that I could demo for you for free? As a matter of fact, I do have an MVP you can demo for me for free. I hope this is making sense. Now, one final thing before we kind of break off here. Is this a good offer? Hey, I saw you're posting content on LinkedIn, or I saw your LinkedIn post. It's actually hard for me to make a bad offer here. I'm trying to make a good offer as I speak, but figure LinkedIn is a priority I'll do all your posts to get you a minimum of 300,000 impressions in the next 2 weeks without you lifting a finger. By the way, if I don't hit it, you get all your money back. Problem. Every post you make on LinkedIn is reputational risk. Problem. Do I really believe a guy can step into my LinkedIn and make me famous? Problem. 2 weeks? Is he even going to write about anything related to my industry? The way you present your offer is going to create problems. And that's going to lower this. Reframe. Hey, I noticed you're doing founder-led content. Maybe you're talking to a founder. Or I noticed your team seems to be pretty active on LinkedIn. Thought content might be a focus. And then you'll say something along the lines of, with you guys being well into Series A, I gotta imagine there's golden nuggets hidden in all of your team calls and transcripts. Ooh, excuse me, those are private. What we do is set up a simple system so that you can anonymize everything before you feed us the data to turn it into founder-led LinkedIn posts. I think it would be really effective for you because you're, doing whatever, you have 10,000 followers, but imagine you just don't have the time to post every single day. Is this something worth discussing at all? I can send you a few example posts to get your feedback. Oh, I would love to give effort for that. Wow, I really believe that. Oh my God. Now, how do you sell $1 million offer? And for anyone that's stuck around, I appreciate it. This is just me getting a little bit, sicko on some of this stuff, but hopefully people enjoy it. How do you actually make a $1 million offer work? So that's a big old dream outcome, all right? To make a $1 million offer work, you need to make it believable. So we are going to make it believable. I would like to give you $1 million. Won't work. Hey, I had a few new dev hires, or looks like you're beefing up the dev team. I count 7. LinkedIn might be lying. I count 7. I think you might qualify for the Canadian-born dev tax break. And you'd have to be like, Canadian developers in the first line. Canadian dev tax break. If you really do have 7 developers, you could be eligible for up to $1 million over the next 2 years. Figure with you guys being Series A, runway is a priority. It doesn't cost anything to see if qualify, and we don't charge a penny to do it for you. Worth discussing? Wow. We don't charge a penny unless you get it. Worth discussing? Damn. That third-party authority they use sure seems believable. And that's the thing I forgot to mention earlier, by the way. Using a third-party authority can really help you increase perceived likelihood of achievement. So oftentimes a case study can be worse than just being like, it's the exact system Anthropic used to grow from X to Y. Ooh. I like that. Yeah, we modeled our onboarding flows off of ChatGPT, the fastest growing app ever. Okay, maybe I want to take a look at this. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I believe it might be good then because it's used by ChatGPT. Very different from being like, I made this company $500,000 and so you'll make $500,000. Every company's different. They won't believe it, but they might believe that the principles of this great company could be valuable to them, especially if it's a company like them. So key takeaways. Focus on mechanisms. Everything you do in your list building should basically be focused on increasing this. That means when you scrape data, think about, is this data just a personalization or does it create this relevance that makes my offer more likely to be perceived as something that can happen? And build all of this around creating curiosity and trust. If you don't want to do any of this crap, book a call with me and we can talk about doing cold outbound for you to teach you and your business how to turn strangers into customers so you can use all of that valuable data and inform every other marketing channel you have so that they can all be equipped with the message that does that beautiful, beautiful thing of turning strangers into customers.